Hello! Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the UEFA Champions League Matchday 4 predictions. I am once again on this predictor site where I have created my own league. I also did this for the Europa and Conference League as well, and I blanked out on giving out my predictions for both of these match days. But Champions League, I'm still in the race. On the last match day, I got 60 points. That's my best ever so far. Not a lot of scorelines right, but a lot of winners here, and I was pretty close on some. Apart from Frankfurt versus Tottenham, Inter versus Barcelona, I feel like a lot of people didn't see that one coming, to be honest. They really got a lot of work to do, obviously. 2 losses so far in the Champions League. Club Brugge I got right, thankfully. Thought Atletico would score, but no. Brugge continuing to show dominance. They're top of their group. Fantastic. Porto versus Leverkusen, again, same scenario. Ajax versus Napoli, I did get incorrect. Napoli absolutely destroyed them. I thought it would be a much more fair fight. Although Napoli have been really dominating the scene lately, lots of people are going on about their brilliant attack. I thought Ajax would be able to hold them off just this one time, especially since they're at home, but no, Napoli ain't slowing down anytime soon. It will be interesting to see what happens for match day 4 for them as they're coming up against each other again. But the other match is Liverpool again, 1 goal off. Same for Leipzig versus Celtic. Dinamo Zagreb versus Salzburg. Unfortunately, I got wrong, but I went for my heart in this scenario. I was leaning towards a draw, so I would have got it wrong anyway. Fair enough. Benfica versus PSG. I did get correct. Scoreline and everything. I should have doubled down on this one. Bravo to Benfica. I mean, seriously, what was I thinking in those initial predictions? They genuinely could easily make it to the knockouts, without a doubt. It would be interesting to see if they can hold off against PSG again in match day 4. I got the exact scoreline for Man City versus Copenhagen as well. Not bad. Real Madrid versus Shakhtar is the one I doubled down on, and it was not a good idea. And then for Chelsea versus Milan, some people were doubtful Chelsea could score 3 goals. I saw in my comments, but they did. And they didn't concede any, so bravo to Chelsea. I did get really unlucky on some of these, just missing out by 1 goal for so many. But still, I'm on the right track. 60 points is really not bad whatsoever. Let's see where I am in the league standings. 45th place, not bad. That's bumped me up a lot. I appreciate all of you who have joined already. How many of you are in this league? 1,200 members. I'm sure some people have not been keeping up to date, but still. 45 out of 1,200 is not too bad. And if I got some of those scorelines right on this match day, I was really so close on some of them, things could have been different. Shout out to R10 right now, who's in first place. But yeah, match day 4 is essentially all going to be rematches for match day 3. All the same fixtures, just switching up who's playing at home. So essentially, we're just evaluating today if some of these teams can make comebacks. I am recording this on Saturday evening, so I haven't seen the full form for some of these clubs, as some of them still have to play on Sunday, and I will be uploading this video on Monday morning. So yeah, keep that in mind. But regardless, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Leave an early like. Let's try to hit 1,500 likes for this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe if you're new. Join this league if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Starting off with Maccabi Haifa versus Juventus. As we all know, Juventus really have not been at their best shape. They just lost to AC Milan 2-0. Allegri's tactics really do not seem to be working for this club. It's been a sign since the beginning of the season, but a lot of people's predictions of how Juventus' season would play out are coming true. Who knows if or when he's going to get sacked, but regardless, he did grab a win against Maccabi Haifa. That was when they were the home team, though, with this shaky Juventus side. Maccabi Haifa could actually get a comeback here. I mean, no discrediting Juventus. Definitely the better team on paper. Juventus desperately need this win, though, if they want to catch up with the other two, PSG and Benfica. They are 4 points shy at the moment from them both. If they don't win this game, Allegri is definitely done. I mean, if he's not sacked after that, I don't know what to say, because their other 2 fixtures, as we've already seen, are going to be very difficult for them. Having to come up against Benfica and PSG again won't be an easy task. They need to get this win. I think they're going to cut it close, but it's not going to be pretty whatsoever. Maccabi Haifa will put up a great fight at home. I'm going for 2-1 for Juventus. Now for Copenhagen versus Manchester City. Manchester City absolutely dominated Copenhagen, like I mentioned, 5-0 at home, but now they're away. Copenhagen, I still think, will get a decent beating here. I hate to say it. Maybe Pep will try to rotate the squad now. Maybe he'll want to give Haaland a rest. I'm not too sure how it's going to play out, but he's still got phenomenal backup options. So I don't see Copenhagen coming out of this. I still think they'll get defeated. Manchester City on absolute fire at the moment. I don't think it's going to be as high as 5-0. I'll go for 3-0. Now for PSG versus Benfica. Both these sides share the same amount of points at the top. This is a huge match. If Benfica can come out on top of this away, that would be massive. Such a big statement. we know that they're going to put up a massive fight. But to do it in Paris will not be easy whatsoever. Despite Messi scoring a beautiful goal against Benfica, the phenomenal front three did have some trouble converting chances against Benfica and in their last Ligue 1 match where they drew 0-0. But at the same time, to be fair, Messi did not play in that match. They're obviously putting most of the eggs in their basket for the Champions League, and I think PSG will be able to come out on top in this matchup. Best of luck, Benfica. Prove me wrong. Would love to see it. But I think that attacking force will be able to click again, and it's going to be a narrow 2-1 win for PSG. Now for Borussia Dortmund versus Sevilla. Last time Dortmund were able to beat this side 4-1. Can they pull off some kind of result like that once again? They also scored a 95th minute equalizer against Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Dortmund are such a fun team to watch. Their form randomly dips here and there, but it seems like they're onto something at the moment. They have the belief right now. After the last fixture in matchday 3, Sevilla did sack Lopetegui, as they have been terrible so far this season. They are just outside the relegation zone at the moment. They did just pick up a draw in La Liga in their first match without their manager. I think Dortmund still got this in the bag. Maybe it won't be as massive of a win, but I'm going to go for 3-1 for Borussia Dortmund. Now for Celtic versus RB Leipzig. This is a very mixed bag of a match. RB Leipzig have been in questionable form all season, randomly pulling through and randomly very much disappointing, such as losing to Shakhtar on the first match day when they were at home. This is Celtic's perfect opportunity to make a comeback in the Champions League, as they sit at 4th right now in their group with just 1 point. If they're able to beat Leipzig here, they'll at least snatch that 3rd place spot for now. But also RB Leipzig will be very determined to get the win themselves, because if they do and Real Madrid beat Shakhtar, as many people expect them to, they will take back that 2nd place spot. So much on the line on this match. Who's going to take advantage? I'm going to say that neither of them do here. Celtic put off a good fight at home, and it finishes in a 1-1 draw. Now for Shakhtar versus Real Madrid, like I said, most people banking on Real Madrid to get the result here. They did it last time, obviously, at the Santiago Bernabeu. But Shakhtar, man, they always just come out of nowhere, don't they? They beat RB Leipzig earlier 4-1, like I mentioned. They have beaten Real Madrid in the past, but to be fair, they were going through a very weird period at that moment. These sides actually have a lot of history, so maybe Shakhtar can pull an upset here. Real Madrid with 3-for-3 wins, though, maybe they will have one little slip in this Champions League group stage. It's very possible, but I'm going to say if they slip, it's not going to be this soon. Again, who knows, though? They lost to Sheriff the year they won the Champions League, so we could very much see something come out of this. But I'm going to go for that Real Madrid win regardless. I will go for that 2-0 scoreline. They get that away win. No problem necessarily, but they still show their class here. Now for Milan versus Chelsea, will AC Milan be able to produce the comeback? They got smacked 3-0 last time, and Parter has seemed to regain the Chelsea identity. He's now getting solid wins here. Not only did he just beat AC Milan 3-0, he also just beat Wolverhampton 3-0 as well in the Premier League. But both those matches were at the Stamford Bridge. Will he be able to get a win at the San Siro? In this group, literally anything's possible. Both of them share the same amount of points right now. And Salzburg's only at the top with 1 more point, and Dinamo Zagreb's at the bottom with just 1 less point. AC Milan also regained their form after beating Juventus 2-0. I don't know, I think that result at the Stamford Bridge is a massive wake-up call for AC Milan. No, I'm going to say a winner comes out of this, and I am edging it towards Chelsea. I don't think they're going to get a massive 3-0 win like last time. I'm going to say it's close. 2-1. This one's really 50-50. So many positives to both these teams right now, but I'm going to say there's a winner out of this at the end of the day. Now for Dinamo Zagreb versus Salzburg. Dinamo at home this time. They, like I mentioned earlier, they did lose to Salzburg away. Am I going to be hopeful for Dinamo again? Moram. I'm going to keep that 1-0 scoreline, even though I was wrong last time. They're at home this time. I've seen a few times already what Dinamo's capable of doing at home. I think they can produce a comeback against Salzburg. Salzburg, without a doubt, very underrated side with so much quality, so many young prospects. Okafor, Pavlovic, Sucic, Šeško. Without a doubt, so many brilliant players. But I'm going to be hopeful one more time for Dinamo Zagreb, because after that, it might be too late. AC Milan and Chelsea both look like they could beat this side right now. Even though Dinamo Zagreb did beat Chelsea in the first match day, I called it Dinamo would start to slip towards the end, but I'm going to say they're able to grab one more win. Hopefully. I'm Dinamo. I'm going to go bold and say Orsic is able to ball out at Maximir. Now for Atletico Madrid versus Club Brugge. Club Brugge, like I mentioned, on absolute hot form. I told you all to not sleep on this side. So many people ruling them out. Atletico are supposed to be favorites in this group. And look at that, they're at the bottom. I absolutely love the story Club Brugge is telling. Their attacking squad is just excellent. So many underrated players are to appreciate. Can they do it in Madrid? Once again, beat these giants. I'm sorry, Club Brugge, prove me wrong. But I'm going to say Atletico get the win this time. They get the comeback. They desperately need it. This is a side that usually do bits in the Champions League. So if they crash out of a group that they're supposed to be favorites in, yeah, that's really bad, and I don't see it happening per se. I'm going to say they start to pick things up. Although they don't look the most convincing right now, I'll say they go back to winning ways in the Champions League, and they'll grab a 1-0 win against Club Brugge. Now for Napoli versus Ajax. Will Napoli ever sink at this point? They still haven't lost, even in the Serie A, and they already smashed Ajax 6-1. I won't be surprised if Ajax push back here. Maybe this is the match where we'll see a draw. In fact, I see a decent amount of people still predicting that to be the case. Ajax going back to winning ways, getting a 4-2 win against Volendam. But I'm going to say no. Napoli at home, I don't know if they'll score 6 goals this time around, but I still think it will be a pretty massive win for them. Ajax will still put off a better fight, though. I'm going to say it finishes 3-1 for Napoli. Now for Sporting versus Marseille. Sporting was such a strong start, but they had to blow it to Marseille by a pretty significant scoreline, 4-1 last time around. Can they get the comeback here? They're at home. We saw what they're able to do at home as well. For example, beating Tottenham. I really do think it's going to be either a win or a draw for Sporting, because Marseille will definitely try to put off a good fight because they really are in a position where they need to pick themselves up. Yes, they beat Sporting on the last match day, but they're still sitting at the bottom. I'm going to go for 1-1. Not a complete comeback from Sporting, but they still have a significant amount of points. And with this scoreline, it will potentially allow Tottenham to turn things around and at least get close to getting first place. Moving on to that, Tottenham versus Frankfurt. Last time Tottenham failed to score. Now they were able to just beat Brighton 1-0. Looks like they're somewhat picking things up once again. I think if they're playing at home, they can beat Frankfurt. I know I predicted them to beat them last time, which they failed to do, and it easily could happen. Tottenham a bit questionable at the moment, but I'm going to say they're able to do the job here. It finishes in a 2-1 narrow victory for Spurs. Now for Victoria Plzen versus Bayern Munich. Victoria Plzen, at this rate, are just happy to be in the Champions League. I am so sorry to this Czech side. I love you guys, but they're getting battered every single time. It seems to be an easy 3 points for every club that comes against them. Watch them pull an upset against Bayern after I say this. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Bayern Munich, although blowing a lead to Borussia Dortmund, this is still a side that looks to be favorites to top their Champions League group at the moment. They already beat this side by a hefty scoreline, and I think it's going to happen again. Maybe not as severe, though. I will go for 3-0. Now for Barcelona versus Inter Milan. Can Barcelona get the comeback at the Camp Nou? They got to, man. I know some people are complaining about Barcelona getting robbed in the last fixture. If Barcelona fail to get this win, they are in serious trouble. They will share the same amount of points as Inter if they are able to win. I'm going to say Barcelona are able to do it. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win, but I'm going to say they got it despite their injuries. But you know what? Looking back, Inter also had a decent amount of injuries in the last fixture it was labeled, such as Çalhanoğlu, who did score the winning goal. Now for Bayer Leverkusen versus Porto. Porto's form has been very on and off themselves. Bayer Leverkusen also not convincing matches this season, at least at the beginning, but they did just beat Schalke 4-0 this weekend. Frimpong got a brace in that match though, and he currently has a red card in the UCL, as he conceded one against Porto. This is really 50-50, honestly. Both of these clubs have really been roller coasters throughout this season. Xabi Alonso has had a fantastic start to his Leverkusen managerial career. Will it continue in the UCL? Porto is a perfect test for him. Maybe it's bold, but I'm going to say they're able to do it. I will go for a 2-0 Leverkusen win. And then finally, Rangers versus Liverpool. I haven't seen how Liverpool played against Arsenal yet, but the fact stands that they did beat Rangers on the last match day. Will they be able to do it, though, away from Anfield, their fortress? I hate to say it, they've also been a roller coaster this season. Not the Liverpool we've known throughout these recent years. Rangers will desperately need to get a win. They've been battered every single match against Ajax, Napoli, and Liverpool, getting loads of goals scored against them every single time. Liverpool with the least, but still a significant victory. I don't think they're able to do it, though. I'm going to say Liverpool win 2-0. We'll see, though. They're really at the mud at the moment, but at the same time, for many, they were clear underdogs in this group. I had a feeling at the beginning that maybe they could seal for third, but right now, it's looking very unlikely. Well, there you have it, guys. Those are my match day 4 predictions. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all for making it all the way to the end. And of course, if you haven't already, please go join this league. all of the links will be in the description below. So yeah, take care. Boa noite.